All right, on Monday, February 10th, 2025, Grayscale officially filed a proposal with the SEC to launch a spot Cardano ETF. This is the first formal application for a ETF for Cardano, and Cardano is joining the ranks of XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin getting these ETFs. Now, it's a significant move for Cardano for several reasons. It's going to open up liquidity to institutional investors. It's going to allow more regular clarity for Cardano, and it's part of Grayscale's broader strategy to kind of grow this crypto regulated financial market space. Also, if you're watching this video, in the description is the Crypto 100x blueprint, my 7 steps to 100x. If you go click the link, we also have a new newsletter. And so I'm writing a lot of stuff about crypto, how I think about crypto, how I tackle crypto. That's probably going to interest you down there. With this Cardano ETF, we're not only seeing a Cardano ETF, but we're seeing XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs, Litecoin ETFs, and this is showing that institutions are interested, or Grayscale at least, and other ETF providers think institutions and retail users are invested in these products or interested in these products for their 401ks or for other money markets. Now, if this is approved, the Cardano ETF would be listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and institutional investors would be able to get access to Cardano without actually holding ADA. Now, this is a big thing for a lot of institutional investors and even a lot of retail people. People like I own the Bitcoin ETF, other people probably own the Bitcoin ETF. And so when you don't have to take custody of your own tokens, it really takes the whole complicated crypto part out of it. This is a big deal for a lot of people, and it's probably what keeps a lot of maybe older or less technically experienced people out of the crypto market. This is all coming at a time when we're seeing an increase of crypto, or all crypto ETFs basically, signaling that altcoins could have a strong focus in 2025, signaling that the market wants it, and that people are looking for more risk and more appetite than just Bitcoin and Ethereum. This isn't just good news though. This isn't just a good thing for Grayscale to want an ADA ETF. Over the past yesterday, maybe the past day or two, we have seen Cardano get back above 80 cents. This is a very technical level. We have been watching this over the past weeks as, we got that Trump tariff notification. ADA, capitulated all the way down to 50 cents. This is the type of hype bullish news that we need ADA to jump from, and it's gotten back above 80 cents. I think this morning it was at 80 cents as I'm recording this video. And so this kind of news is just happening to line up very well with the charts that we are looking at, and is bringing Cardano back to that 70, 80 cent level. This is getting it above the bull market support band, and this is actually bringing good positive information to investors, good positive information to ADA holders, and it's kind of funny how as ADA price goes up, people want to invest more into it. So we're seeing this surge. It's noteworthy given all of the challenges we've had over the last 2 weeks, and it's worth noting that ADA has grown because of this news. We already talked about how this ADA ETF, if it's approved, could bring more institutional investors into Cardano. But what people don't really understand either is that it would significantly pull ADA off of exchanges. I'm not sure 100% the current number of how much ADA is left on exchanges for market price transactions. But if we did have institutional investors adopting this, it would vastly increase the liquidity of ADA being traded on a daily basis and growing the market of who is purchasing this asset. Right now, it's really limited to tier 1 exchange people and people with wallets and people who are, on the centralized exchanges. But if we can move this to a New York Stock Exchange money market fund, we could see a lot more broader interest in Cardano from who is buying, which would bring more ADA off of exchanges and into wallets, which would kind of increase liquidity, which would drive institutional interest. It's kind of like this whole loop. And as the loop starts going, we can then have a rapid increase in ADA price. This is kind of how we get to that $3, $5, $7, $11 numbers that we've talked about over the last couple months. There has to be some type of event like this that drives people to do more, right? I think you and I have been around here for a while, and we're buying ADA and we're using that ADA. But in order for Cardano to hit like the most ultimate new all-time highs, we need retail to come in. And for retail to come in, they need to either see that price is moving upwards, see that institutions or more people are adopting it, see that other people are making money on an asset, or seeing that, it's just the liquidity is there and the price is being driven by something else. This type of news in ADA ETF, we've seen it in the Cardano price getting up to 80 cents. This is exactly what the market loves. The market loves to thrive on hype, and the market doesn't need a reason to go up. But when you give it reasons like this, it continues to go up. ADA and crypto right now, they want to go up in price, and the only thing that's going to bring it down is negative news. Well, when you have sentiment like this, Cardano and other altcoins getting these ETFs and kind of taking over the financial markets, there's only going to be a growing acceptance of crypto, and it's only going to make these cryptos go up in price, especially as you're trading and investing in cap supply tokens like Cardano. Now, this ADA ETF isn't without challenges. There's challenges in all of these ETFs. You know, it took quite a while for the Bitcoin ETF to get approved. The Ethereum ETF has not had kind of the expectation that ETH holders were expecting. It has not been very similar to the Bitcoin ETF in terms of Ethereum price. Now we're in talks of XRP, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Solana ETFs on top of this ADA ETF, and a couple questions are going to rise up. One, does the ADA ETF get approved? Does it get rejected? I think, in my opinion, right now people are saying Litecoin has a 90% chance of getting approved. Side note, that's insane to me. I don't know what is going on with Litecoin, but why would we get a Litecoin ETF? That doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, Litecoin is supposed to be 90% ready for approval for an ETF because it is guaranteed to be a commodity by the SEC. Now, Dogecoin, Solana, XRP are not 100% guaranteed to be commodities by the SEC. Maybe Dogecoin is, I'm not sure, but Solana and XRP definitely are not. Also, another side note, why is Dogecoin getting an ETF? All right. But based on the FIT21 bill that we saw in 2024, Cardano would be a commodity. And if Litecoin's a 90% chance of approval, then Cardano, in my opinion, will also be 90% chance of approval. If you're putting two assets against each other, Litecoin and Cardano, I think Cardano is much more applicable for an ETF and for long-term retail investment. So we need a little bit more clarity from the SEC. We need to see what's going to happen with these ETFs. And if we just start popping off ETFs, right? XRP, Solana, HBAR, ADA, Litecoin, Dogecoin, if the top 10 basically all get an ETF, I mean, then there's very high likelihood Cardano gets a very quick ETF here in 2025. The big question that also sits in the back of my mind is how many ETFs is too many ETFs? Because there's going to be a point where we can't just keep adding altcoin ETFs, right? We're either going to have an ETF index or a combined ETF or something like that instead of just adding, you know, the whole top 100 to the ETFs. But we could also run into an ETF war. Now, what we saw with Bitcoin is one broker submitted an ETF and then like 10 other did. Same thing with Ethereum. And now we have XRP. They had one ETF get submitted, and now like 3 or 4 other brokers have submitted XRP ETFs. Grayscale has taken the first step in acknowledging ADA as an asset that deserves an ETF, that deserves more attention in crypto. And I would not be surprised to see a couple other brokers like Wisdom Tree or some of these other guys file for some ADA ETFs, and this is just going to start an ADA ETF war. This is exactly what we want. We want multiple brokers fighting over the ADA ETF market, and therefore they are going to market Cardano for us. I think the big thing you need to think about here with this ADA ETF is, I know some people have concerns about Cardano governance, Cardano decentralization, and how those are impacted by the ETF, but I don't think those are really impacted in 2025 at all. I think that's a 5 to 10 year away issue, right? Before these ETFs gather enough ADA to really make an impact compared to the 3,000 stake pools and all the retail people out here. But that is something to watch out for in the future. But as of 2025, this Cardano news is just another good piece of news that ADA is stacking. In 2025, I feel like Charles has been on top of his game. He's doing all the right things, and he's talking about it on Cardano or on Twitter in a way that he should be talking about it, promoting his chain, promoting the success of the chain. We are now seeing Cardano stack news after news after news. Argentina, ETFs, NASA, right? All of these things, Elon Musk and SpaceX and all these cool things Cardano's doing. It's got governance, and now we're working on scaling. In my opinion, this is just another piece of awesome news to stack onto the ADA wall of accomplishments, right, that are being tackled here in 2025. I am still of the opinion, and this price increase is really confirming it for me, that ADA is just preparing for the most massive spring of its entire life, and that, you know, we're at 80 cents or 70 cents today, something like that, but shortly, you know, maybe late March, we get that quantitative easing or some type of catalyst is going to show up to where ADA gets back above $1 and starts to make its way up to $2, and that will lead us to $4, and that will lead us to $6, okay? So I see this 2025 cycle really playing out like the 2017 cycle as far as Bitcoin returns and Bitcoin kind of price action. And so I think we could be seeing something where Cardano and the rest of the crypto market really take the summer by storm, and that leads us into an amazing fall. That's what I'd be watching. This is the ADA ETF. Let me know down in the description if you think Cardano deserves an ETF, and what do you think that does for ADA price?